Trash.
That's what former U.D.P Attorney General Michael Peyrefitte says this definitive agreement is. The agreement between the government of Belize and Portico Enterprise Limited, Port of Magical Belize, signed a month before the general elections on October 1st, 2020, is revealing. The once mysterious document is now in the public domain, and its contents are mind-boggling. It's arguably the brightest of all green lights given to a multi-million-dollar development project. The 31-page document bears the signature of former U.D.P Minister of Economic Development, Petroleum, Investment, Trade and Commerce, Erwin Contreras, who has proven to be as elusive as the agreement. He told us today that he preferred not to comment since the matter is proceeding before the court. He repeated that statement when we asked him if he had informed Cabinet that he had signed the agreement. Tracy Panton, who was the chair of Cabinet's Investment Committee when the agreement was signed, says she was not aware of the agreement.
Certainly, under the Barrow administration, the government was pro-investment. We had established a cabinet subcommittee on investments that would look at these investment proposals that would be brought to the government from time to time. All the key priority sectors sat on that committee, including the Attorney General's ministry. Where it came to that particular investor, indeed, we had a memorandum of understanding, which is the first step in the process for all investors, all serious investors in any major projects in the country. And so I know for sure that we had a memorandum of understanding for that particular project. I am not aware of any definitive agreement, which is usually the last stage of really cementing the investment opportunity in the country. You know, the government has to ensure that the investor has the right, has the capital available, that all the permissions have been granted, that sort of thing. When I left, or when we left the government administration, that project was not there yet. Certainly none was discussed with the Cabinet Subcommittee on Investment, and none was discussed with me directly.
Peyrefitte says the same.
That document was signed by Erwin Contreras in October of 2020. And in my view, that is a shame, it is abhorrent, and in my opinion, it is completely illegal. It was wrong when he did it, and if the PUP want to hug up that document and claim that they're so bound by it, well then they are equally responsible for that document, because if they want to endorse it.
The definitive agreement was signed long before Portico received environmental clearance from the Department of Environment, something that Peyrefitte says is highly irregular. And this agreement is a grand tax holiday for Portico, tax exemptions, indisputable tax compensation, guaranteed foreign currency, and a legislation that will cement it all.
These people are getting tax stabilization accommodations. In other words, then, if any taxes are passed that affect them, at the end of the year, they calculate it and government have to give them back the money. This document cannot fly. This document is giving a private enterprise accommodations that no business in this country has ever been given. And then to make it even more insulting, at paragraph 33, I think, of the document, it says that none of these parties could have disclosed this document. Like none of it, like in other words, that if the government of Belize giving away so much wanted to disclose this government to the public, it had to have had Portico's permission. Can you imagine that? That's absolutely crazy.
The agreement binds the government legally with virtually no wiggle room to free itself from the fix. The terms protect Portico locally and externally.
Everything's been thrown out the window. They've been indemnified. Royal Caribbean and Portico are being put into a position where they can't fail. Even if they fail, they can't fail. They're getting a free ride. They're getting a complete free ride with access to US dollars, euros, foreign currency, everything. And whatever they come up short on, the government has to provide and fill the gap, including, like I said, the taxes and any other thing that they want to do. And the government cannot claim now that it's a sovereign government. They are responsible. That sovereign guarantee they want to remove, that sovereign protection, In other words, they want Belize to pretty much just naked itself and bend over.
Reporting for News 5, Hipolito, Novelo.